Danger. Ooh, cool.
Coronavirus is here. We're traveling in a day and a half. A little bit scared. Not sure what's going to happen. Are we going to catch it? Are we not going to catch it? Are they not going to let us back into Korea? Am I going to get
I feel like they have to
deported?
let me and Will back to Korea because we're Korean citizens. You know?
Do we have to get a coronavirus test to fly?
Do we?
I mean, we're leaving in less than 48 hours, so I feel like it's too late. You didn't ask?
I did, but she was like, it's helpful if you have more documents.
Danger. That's what she said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it? So she was like, they didn't want to dissuade it? Like some people are?
I guess so. But I mean, I guess in theory it makes sense.
I mean...
But what if we get coronavirus at the testing place?
Anyways, here we go. We're going to start now. So, first things first, why are we going to America?
We're going to America because we were gonna go to America in the summer and our flights got canceled because of coronavirus. And so Justin's parents, Will's grandparents, haven't seen Will since he was 2 months, you think?
I mean, my parents, 2 months. No one else in my family has seen him yet.
That's true. And nobody else in Justin's family has seen Will.
Or met him, I guess, physically.
Yeah. So we're going to say hello to the families.
Yeah, we're literally going for, like, a vacation, kind of. I mean,
it's a vacation because you're not going to be working.
yeah. I mean,
I'm
pick
gonna be
something up
working,
if I
but...
want, you know. You never know. But, yeah, we're literally going for, like, vacation. We're not going... This is not essential.
For the
it's
holidays.
not essential travel.
Yeah.
So I feel like
We're not,
that's
like...
what's kind of crazy about it.
Wait, did we even look up what essential travel was?
It's, like, only people that are extremely... Well, probably not even extremely, but, like, diplomats, people in the military...
Let's actually see what it is.
I think people that like are needed here because they're the only ones that can work on a generator that's underground powering some like nuclear submarine out in the ocean.
I mean, what if it was like Will has to go to America and we have to travel with him because we're his parents?
That's not the case. Anyways, what are your guys' thoughts on international travel?
Work, funeral, medical purposes.
A medical purpose in America. No. But what are you guys' thoughts? Like, is this something we shouldn't be doing? Is this something we should be doing?
Does it not matter? Is this old news?
Is
are
this
people
old?
over,
Yeah.
like, not traveling?
Literally, it might be old news. Why are we talking about this even now?
I don't know. It's 2020. Get with the program.
Yeah. We found out that white men, Asian females is also old news. Nobody gets married anymore because all Asian men don't want to be with one woman.
They just want money and success.
That's right. That's all they want.
So,
long-term relationships, that is old news. Who does that? So lame.
Traveling during coronavirus?
Yeah, it's basically a long-term relationship. Who's into that?
Well.
Anyways, though.
What do you expect going on this trip?
I mean, I'm personally not really worried about coronavirus.
At all? What about coronavirus are you
like, I'm not
about?
Personally worried about catching it, or you catching it, or Will catch it.
That we're gonna catch it, or that, like, if we catch it, we'll be okay?
By traveling, we'll catch it, and then also, even if we do catch it, I still think we'll be okay. Like, I am conscious, though, quite conscious, about spreading it. I don't want to be someone that spreads it. I don't want to be that one, especially here in Korea, because they'll find out immediately. So maybe it's not my value or my morals. It's actually the fact that I know Korea will catch me and be like, that guy, that white foreigner that's in Korea.
Starbucks
2 days ago, he was there. He had coronavirus, and it spread to like 50 other people in this location. It's constantly a mass pandemic again.
I wonder what they do though. I guess they just like quarantine you if they find you.
I feel like this red light is kind of making us
too aggressive.
Tense, yeah, aggressive. I'm getting aggressive. So, yeah, but I don't want to be even in the States. I don't want to spread it.
Yes.
Are we gonna make them wear masks? because they're Americans
Yeah,
in America.
because they're white people.
I mean, Cohen's parents are like terrified about us going to the States. They're like, even on the phone call, they were like, "Are you
Be
sure you?
safe."
Yeah, like, don't go, blah blah." And they just went to Kenya, where coronavirus isn't even a thing anymore.
What? It's such a thing. I feel like it's like actually a big thing.
In
Like,
Kenya?
yeah, Chan and yeah,
But
just
your
had like a
friend.
friend whose dad like died because he had coronavirus.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure people are still dying from it and like getting sick, but it's
I
not
mean,
like
when,
it's
the
not like here in
government. It's
Korea.
not. Yeah, it's not like the government. Actually, I don't know exactly what the government's doing, but I feel like a few of my friends responded being like, "What's coronavirus?"
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, my parents too. They had to get a COVID negative test to get on the plane to go to Kenya because that's what the regulation is. But they like arrived and they're like, "Oh, we'll do follow-ups with you guys for 2 weeks." They've been back for like a week, and my mom said they haven't heard from anyone once. Whereas in Korea, if you're like quarantining after arriving, they literally like call you every couple hours,
They're
and if
tracking
you
your
don't pick
phone.
up, and if you don't pick up, they're just like, "Why aren't you picking up?"
And if you leave, they'll check your bank records. Like
Yeah.
they like hardcore, like everything is found out about you if you
So,
break one of their COVID laws.
but I do think it's also because, one, they're watching news about what's coming out in America, and I feel like the news is like, "Oh my goodness, it's crazy in America." Because my mom too was like, "Do you guys have to get tests before you go?" And I was like, "No, there's no regulations like that in the States." And she was like, "What? No wonder it's so bad." But also, I feel like
I mean, we're not going to Texas. We're not going to New York. We're not going. Oh, maybe we'll go to New York. We're not going to LA.
but I do have a sister that's in Grand Rapids right now, and like school and
Didn't
stuff.
they get COVID?
Yeah, no, they didn't get COVID, but
Oh.
they've gotten multiple tests. But they've
Actually, I swear they test more in the States than like anywhere else that I've heard of.
But I feel like work and stuff's a little bit crazy for her because like schools like regulations are changing and like blah blah blah. So I feel like my parents are also hearing stuff about that, being like, "Oh my goodness, it's crazy in America."
Like I've been on so many shoots here in Korea since coronavirus. Big shoots with like Hyundai, shoots with maybe interviews and stuff like that. So like I'm shooting a car commercial. But like big enough shoots where in the States you'd have to get a COVID test, everyone on the crew. But here it's just like make sure you wear a mask. And we even went into like I went to some crazy like okay, probably no one who's watching this knows unless you're Korean, but Heppan?
Hetban.
Yeah. The place that makes that, the factory that makes that,
Well,
one of the
tell them
factories
what hetban is.
is like the rice, the instant rice. You get it every single like
Grocery store. Are
like
you forgetting
small-
English words?
no, but like this small. Do we have them in the States? What are they called?
They're literally at like grocery stores,
The tiny
convenience
ones.
stores.
Convenience stores. Anyway, it's really famous. It's really famous here in Korea, and they were cleaner than coronavirus, not because of COVID-19, but we even still went in without any like tests beforehand.
You could have given all the rice coronavirus.
Could have. Anyways, that's besides the point. We're getting off topic here. Sorry, guys.
Wait, so are we gonna make family wear masks?
In the States,
Probably
no.
not.
I don't think so. I'm very I think this is my theory on people, humanity.
Wait, hold on though. Like when my cousins, like my aunt and stuff, came to visit us to visit Will,
Yeah.
she was like wearing her mask. I was like, "You can take your mask off."
Oh, really?
They like kept it on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here's my theory on humans. Humans are basically sheep, and we just do what the crowd wants, and we are very adaptable. So those two things together, like even the staunchest mask wearer here in Korea, if they went to like the least mask wearing place in America, I'm pretty sure because the majority of the people aren't wearing masks, that the staunchest, I mean, unless they're like hardcore like activists or something.
I feel like you should use that as like someone in America that's just like, "Oh my goodness, you have to wear a mask." Like I feel like that's
Oh,
a
that's
better
probably
example
better
because like
to
in
say,
Korea, it's just like
Well,
everyone
no,
does it because everyone
this would be
wears
even
masks.
better. Like someone in America who's like against wearing masks, if they came to Korea, like Seoul, the moment like it would take a day max, 2 days to start wearing a mask, just because everyone wears masks here. It's like they would feel so uncomfortable and so self-conscious of the fact that they're not wearing a mask that they would start wearing one. Like that's. So I have a feeling we're gonna like if they're like, "Oh, you don't have to wear a mask in the house here," like it would be like, and no one else is doing it.
But we don't wear masks in the house here anyway.
Or like
do you think
outside, like the moment we leave here, we
Oh, I
put
mean,
a mask on.
Yeah. I mean, we're not like gonna put our masks on to like go to the mailbox at your parents' house.
But we would if we were in Korea.
Yeah, I guess so. But I didn't put my mask on when I took out the trash last night.
Maybe that's because you're Asian looking.
Yeah.
So people
So
don't
I'm
know.
gonna have to wear a mask when I go to
Oh,
America.
people are gonna notice more now, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be like strutting around like, no mask needed.
No mask needed. White privilege.
It's not white privilege. That's
Yeah,
just
it is.
racism. It's just race.
I'm white.
All right.
Anyways.
So, question number 2 here is coronavirus just a first world problem? Like, weren't being able to worry about it, being able to buy a bunch of masks, being able to like
Social distance.
social
being able
distance,
to like wash our
hand
hands
sanitizer all the time. Like, it's not cheap. Also, a lot of people don't even have running water. How are they washing their hands all the time? Doesn't, like, you know what I'm saying? I think you guys probably get the idea. What do you think?
Well, I feel like that's what we were saying in the beginning, when coronavirus first started, probably back in like March. Because, well, no, maybe March was too early. Because I feel like in March, it was just like hitting here and stuff in America. It didn't like hit America yet. But I feel like once it hit America, in like what, May, June, everyone was like, oh my goodness, we have to do this like social distancing stuff. We have to do like blah 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 blah, which is all stuff I feel like people should be doing. But it felt like the attitude or like the
Social distancing?
Yeah.
Nobody social distances here in Korea.
I mean, that's besides the point. But I feel like the attitude or like air around coronavirus was just like, oh my goodness, like this is so, like this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But to be honest, here in Korea, like nobody social distances. It's not a thing. Only in like places they tell you have to social distance, they'll social distance. Like Starbucks right now, for example. You go to Starbucks, the doors are open when you walk in. There's no chairs to sit down because coronavirus has like doubled in the last couple days.
There's like tape markers for like where you have to line up for
The moment
line.
you go on the subway, it's just packed again.
Yeah.
If, you know, they should make 2 subways. That's what they should do. Why didn't they do that?
A coronavirus subway and a not coronavirus
Something
subway?
like that, yeah.
If you have COVID, please get on this subway. I mean, that's
And then
that's
domestic
what I mean,
travel,
though.
too.
But this is what I mean. I feel like it's impossible. Like, you can only social distance if, like,
You're rich, basically.
you're rich, yeah.
You don't have to work.
You don't have to ride the subway. You can just, like,
Oh,
drive
yeah,
in
you
your car.
drive. Or
Like, you live in a country or, like, a city where
you have
I don't
enough
know.
income to be able to take out a loan to buy a car so you don't take the subway.
you're allowed to, like, work from home. You don't get, like, fired from your job
Yeah.
for, like, not coming in. So, is it a first world problem?
Well, it's-
Maybe. Like, because there's plenty
yeah,
of countries where, like, people actually, like, physically can't social distance. Like, if you're
Yeah.
living in, like, the, what do you call those? Like, the slums or, like,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyways.
If you have to, if you have like 5 roommates and living in a 2-bedroom apartment or something
Literally,
like that.
I was just, like, reading over some, like,
And all 5 of you work at like minimum wage jobs.
but not even that. I was reading over some, like, data from this project I'm working on, and they're like, yeah, we have a 14-person family. It's a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely interested in your guys' thoughts. Does everyone think that coronavirus is like the worst thing in the world? I mean, because I guess that would be the like if
Is
it is.
coronavirus the worst disease in the world? Well, because I feel like another thing is, in a lot of different countries or like poorer countries, people aren't like as concerned about it as it is in the States. Like where like or the States or even Korea, I would say, where people are just like, oh my gosh, coronavirus. It's like, make sure you're doing this, make sure you're doing that. But there's like so many other diseases that people are fighting that are like tangible, or it's like their lives are like in danger for whatever reason that they're
Is
just
it
like,
even
ooh,
diseases? I
coronavirus.
don't know. Is disease just like actually just money, water?
Yeah, if
food,
you're like
right?
starving, like, are you gonna worry about getting coronavirus?
Yeah, and then I mean, are we just saying this just because we think we know more than other people or something like that? I mean, because what are we? We're not like in in that location at all. We're still in Korea.
What's your question?
Well, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to say the other side of the argument, kind of like.
So it's not a first world problem?
No, like, but what are we doing about that? Like, how are we trying to change? Like, how are we? Because then we should just be trying to, I don't know, at least giving more money to people in those third world countries that have bigger problems than COVID-19.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get to Jian's questions. Jian, thanks again. You always ask such great questions. If you guys have any symptoms, can you get a test in the U.S.? Yes, you can get a test.
Do you know where to get a test in Wales?
No, but I'm pretty sure any clinic at this point you can get a test.
We probably, well, I guess it doesn't even matter if we get tested in the States or not, because like they're not going to make us quarantine, and like you're not going to be not allowed on the flight, because Korea makes you like take a test when you arrive anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Korea, thankfully, also we don't have to get a test before we leave. I just have to get a health checkup.
Will you get a test if you have symptoms in the States, or are you just going to be like, oh my goodness, it's just a cold?
Yeah, honestly, so to come back to Korea, I do have to get a health checkup, but it's just a checkup to say I don't have a fever, I don't have any cold systems. Systems in my body. Symptoms. But I don't have to get a COVID-19 test.
Yeah, but you didn't answer my question. Like,
No.
if you did have like symptoms like a fever, loss of taste, and stuff like that, will you get a test?
If I get loss of taste,
Yeah.
definitely I'm gonna get a test because I'm gonna be like, this is COVID-19. I feel like
But
I
then
feel
do
sick
you like have to know?
at least once a week.
But do you have to know that it's coronavirus? Like, if at that point you already know, like, do you have to get a test to confirm that's like, oh, it is coronavirus? Like, why would you?
Yeah, I would want to get a test to confirm.
And then what? Like, socially distance yourself from us
No, I'd probably stay in the same house as you and maybe wear a mask all the time and not kiss anymore.
and not take care of well.
Yeah, I guess not. I have to social distance. Yes, I'm gonna go get COVID immediately. I just figured it out. 2 weeks later, COVID, you won't believe it happened again. Anyways, so yeah, I probably will get tested. Here in Korea, I really didn't want to get tested because it was gonna limit how much work I could do. So honestly, that was the motivation for me. Not that I ever got symptoms of COVID-19, but a lot of the stories I covered were COVID-19 related. I've been all around Korea.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I wasn't a super spreader.
I'm suffering from my success.
Suffering from my success. But I really didn't want to get it because then I'd have to quarantine for 2 weeks and not be able to work. I think aging is still the worst disease in the world. It's true. If you know the cure for that, please let us know. I want to know
the one
the cure.
disease that ultimately leads to death.
Here's Gian though
is
said,
life.
I think it's a whole world problem that is being dealt with first world solutions. Ooh. Man, that's actually so insightful. Digital learning, social distancing. But if you have symptoms, will you not let your grandparents visit for their safety? Oh, that's a good question.
Your grandparents or Dave and Pam?
I'll be living with them. If I found out I had COVID-19, I would get a test then, I guess, and not go to my grandparents. I'll be with my parents, so I assume they'll get it immediately, probably.
COVID?
Yeah.
So we'll all have COVID together?
Because we're all just basically talking this close to each other.
Gross.
Dad, I gotta tell you something, Dad.
Get out of my face.
Let's go get coffee.
I don't want a coffee.
Yeah, so, but my grandparents...
Are we visiting your grandparents?
For one day, yeah, at some point. Well,
We're
how are
going to
they
New
gonna
Jersey
how
for
are they
one
gonna
day.
meet Will? Oh, New Jersey?
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet because we need to get into because in the States it's really different. Each state makes its own rules, so I don't even know which states we can go to yet or not. But I'm pretty sure we can go to most of them.
When I called Korean Air today, they were just like, oh, if you go to JFK, then you have to get like a test or something. But O'Hare doesn't have any restrictions.
Oh, really? So it's based at the airport?
Yeah.
Wow. That's so interesting. So
Yeah.
crazy. Actually, this was something I was thinking about recently, too. It was like, in countries where it's a little bit more like, they can make a law and the whole country has to obey it. Like those countries were kind of like China, here in Korea as well. Where else?
New Zealand?
Maybe New Zealand. It was kind of useful because they could just be like, okay, no one can go out now. There's a curfew, or like, all stores have to close down now. Like, it's not a dictatorship, but it's like...
It's not a dictatorship, but...
But the government can basically make one rule and enforce it in the whole country. It was kind of useful for COVID-19. It was necessary for COVID-19 because then you could force everyone... Because even here in Korea, like, you still need rules. There's plenty of people who wouldn't social distance, wouldn't wear masks, wouldn't blah 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 if there weren't rules. The restaurants would stay open if there weren't these rules, government enforced. But in the U.S., it's each state for its own like little kingdom. So like the states are all making their own different rules. It would almost be useful at this point for the government, the top government, to be able to be like, no, this
Everyone's
is countrywide.
gonna wear masks.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's also why like people are getting like mixed messages, being like, masks work, masks don't work, social distance, don't social distance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm gonna go crazy with the lights now. Again, what do you guys think though about this? Are we just spewing nonsense, or
do people not care about coronavirus anymore?
is this old news? Okay, so yeah, we did that last question.
Here's another like logic question. It's like, oh, travelers need to be safe. Like some countries have very extreme rules where it's just like you have to get a COVID test 72 hours before your flight and make sure that like whatever before you get on the plane and stuff like that. But is everyone that's working at the airport regularly getting tested?
Oh yeah.
Actually, Dawn pointed this out earlier.
That's right. Yeah.
And if they're not, does it even matter if like everybody else is? I mean, it probably does matter, but like
what's happening in the baggage claim?
Yeah. Like everyone that works at baggage claim, do you get tested every day?
Do pilots get tested like before each flight? I assume that wouldn't be that hard to do, right? Like flight attendants too.
I
guess they would have to do
about,
it
like,
2 days maybe beforehand, 1 day beforehand.
And then isolate before I get a test, and then like.
Man, that would suck if they did have it, and then who do they get to cover them?
I don't know, a substitute flight attendant.
I think the only good thing is that the flight is super empty. Like we already saw the seating charts, and it's like 30% full.
I don't know what percentage, but yeah,
it
probably.
Seemed like very, very little.
Do you think it's because like, well, do you think that's like people not traveling, or is it like airlines limiting, like trying to enforce it like every other seat?
I don't think so. I think it's because people aren't traveling.
No.
I think right now people are just more scared of international, kind of like foreigners in whatever country they are, than catching coronavirus. Because like when we did domestic travel flights, there was no social distancing again. Like it was like you were right next to each other. Everyone, the whole plane was packed.
Yeah, there wasn't like an empty seat on the plane.
Yeah, the airport was packed, and it just was as if COVID-19 didn't. I mean, besides everyone wearing masks.
Yeah.
But I think it's just international travel is just because foreign countries are seen as
it's probably
dangerous or something.
I don't know. Is it just, well, maybe it is like slightly like perception, like people are scared to go to a different country, but I do also think it's like it's just not as easy to travel anymore. Like if the countries do require you to like get a test, or like do require you to quarantine when you get there, and like also make you pay for it because you have to like stay in some kind of facility. You know what I mean? Like who's, because like I know Cambodia, they have to pay like a $3,000 deposit or something, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was 3,000 or if it was more or less, but like some amount of money as a deposit just in case like they do happen to have COVID, or someone on their flight had COVID, and like they have to like quarantine, and like everything comes out, like all their like testing, like food, hotel stay, blah blah blah, all comes out of that like initial deposit.
Here's the other thing we were thinking about is, do you guys think that you can buy fake COVID-19 tests now? Like somehow on the black market or on Craigslist or something.
What does it even look like?
So you maybe search on Craigslist right now, like, can I buy a negative COVID test? Because that's probably a thing now too. Like you can do the same thing with yellow fever cards. Like at this point, if anything, that's, I assume what's
tourists are buying. I'm moving a chair outside. Tourists are buying fake COVID-19 test results on the black market to travel.
I knew it. Wow, we should be covering that story right now.
November 10th.
Oh, see more. Is this Cassie Moore from the ship? It's true about New Zealand. It's a lot easier to implement legislation or new policy and streamline it quicker. We just don't want to go into lockdown again, so we listen and do our part, I guess. Oh, but don't you think?
They did. New Zealand did have like a super strict lockdown though.
Yeah, they did. They didn't even let flights in and out.
Yeah.
Like it was like super strict. It was like not even Korea was not even supposedly strict.
But I feel like don't hold on to your thought. But I feel like there were countries in Europe like Italy and stuff that also had a super strict lockdown. And I have friends that are still in Italy, but I feel like people aren't like, oh, we don't want to go back to the lockdown. I feel like people are like, this is stupid. We're just like not gonna follow the rules anymore.
Yeah.
But what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying. I mean, but I was just saying that it's kind of probably better in certain situations where you can be a government that makes a rule for the entire nation.
Yeah.
Because in the U.S., can you as far as I understand, the government can't really like make a.
But aren't there like federal laws and then state laws in America? It's not like every state can just do whatever they want. Aren't there like federal laws?
I assume
There's
are,
like
but I don't even know.
taxes.
Yeah, but what federal like? I don't even know. I don't even know the definition of federal.
Isn't that like the countrywide law?
I assume that, but I don't know. Maybe we should look it up just in case. But like
Just
basic things in the U.S. like when you get your driving permit is different in every state, and the alcohol restrictions like with driving and stuff like that is different in every state. I guess a lot of it's with driving and stuff like that. But that's just basic. But shouldn't that just be the same? Like, can't the government do that, or why do they not do that in the U.S.?
Well, because their former president didn't believe that coronavirus was a thing.
No. Oh yeah, maybe that. But like, I'm just curious on why are the laws not easier to just pass throughout the whole country?
I don't know, but I
Someone
also have a
explain this
question
to
for
me.
this New Zealand person. Are you guys like happy about the government having done that? Like, are people like, oh yeah, New Zealand does such a good job, we're like so glad that like coronavirus didn't spread and now we can like go out and about and do stuff? Or like are people like pro or against it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe it's not important.
I wish Joel had a fake COVID positive test so he doesn't have to go to work. Oh, does he still get paid?
A fake positive.
Is that what happens?
So. Yeah, I think they should get like paid leave.
That's so amazing. Wow,
we can send you one.
Yeah, I can make one up on Photoshop real quick. Easy.
I'm so curious what they look like. Have you seen a COVID test?
I haven't seen one. No, I don't.
Me neither. Maybe we should ask people to send us photos of theirs.
Yeah. Yes. Please send us
if you have a COVID
photos
test,
of your COVID tests immediately.
COVID.
Please DM them to my Instagram. I'll even give you my WhatsApp number.
COVID PCR test.
Besides that, I think the only other question we have here is how many of our friends have gotten COVID-19 from traveling?
Literally.
From traveling?
Oh, from traveling? I don't know.
We have a bunch of friends that have COVID-19 at this point. Like,
yeah.
Family members even.
Well, but they didn't get it from traveling. Like, my parents didn't get it from traveling. One of my friends, two of my friends that I know that currently have it, got it from traveling. Or got it, I don't know if it's like from
while
traveling. I don't know if it was while
Who?
traveling. I think it was like after
Anna?
getting to a different country. What did she say?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Because she went to Turkey.
Yeah, a couple times. I don't think she got it from traveling though. I don't know. And then our other friend also got it, but I don't think it was like on the plane.
Yeah. I don't think that many. I mean, so many people have COVID at this point. I'd be surprised if anyone doesn't know someone who hasn't got COVID.
I know. I feel like when it first happened and it was like really scary, everyone was just like, yeah, but like nobody knows anyone that has COVID. And then we have like one friend that got it and we're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe he has COVID.
It's real.
And now people tell us they have COVID and you're like, well, I guess it was bound to happen at some point.
Yeah. But yeah. I'm so curious to see what it's like in the States. So curious. Anyways, I think that's the end. We don't have any other questions. If you guys have any other questions or comments or things you need to correct us on because I was totally wrong or something like that, please feel free to correct me. I'm happy to continue learning about coronavirus and traveling.
Okay.
Am I not happy? Actually, maybe
maybe you are.
don't correct me. I don't want to be corrected. But yeah. Last comment from Cassie Moore. Majority of New Zealanders appreciate the lockdown. Our economy is doing a lot better long term, and we didn't really have a second wave like other countries. Oh, see more. Okay, maybe you're not the more I know. Sorry. Okay. So you're based in New Zealand, I guess. But we do miss traveling.
Well, it's also funny because I feel like several months ago when people were like saying things like, "Oh my gosh, I miss traveling," like people were like, "There's worse things in life." Like I can't believe you're like. Well, I guess I'm
complaining
thinking
about traveling.
I'm thinking specific of like travel influencers on like Instagram. They're just remember like being able to travel and stuff, and you're like, like life's more than whatever.
Sorry, I mistook you for someone else. Seymour.
But yeah, I feel like now. I mean, it seems like. I feel like people. Well, this is the thing. I feel like people still are making excuses for non-essential travel. So like people are still doing things like going on baby moons or traveling for like leisure, but they're just like, oh my goodness, like or like even the Yes Theory or whatever.
Oh yeah,
those guys are like went to Afghanistan, like, but we took the test.
It's like
is that all that matters?
Yeah, at this point it's like, oh, just take a test and you can do whatever you want.
I mean, if you're gonna go, like, just go. Like, why do you have to like, I don't know, like justify your. I mean, maybe we're doing the same thing by doing this.
Yeah, at this point. Well, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I wish I could hear more from you guys, though, honestly. Because I feel like we're in such a bubble here in Korea. Like, I'm so excited to see what it's like in the States. And then if I could go to other countries, I would, but probably not going to, because...
You're not just going to, like, travel to Bangladesh.
Yeah, that's not the case. My friends in the U.S. seem most judgmental about it. Yeah, I feel like the U.S.
That's what. Well, I feel like that's what like the message in America is. Like everyone's so like, especially like right versus left. It's just like social distance. Don't even visit your families for Thanksgiving. People posting stories of like crying because they couldn't see their families for like Thanksgiving dinner, and being like, I hope things are okay so we can see everybody for Christmas. And it's like, if you want to go see your families, just do it. Like. I don't know. But, I don't know, we're not in America, so...
Yeah. I mean, even here, everyone went, like, there's Thanksgiving here in Korea.
I feel like
everybody went. Everybody.
Well, everyone went traveling. I feel like here a lot of people, like, use it as an excuse to not go visit their families. It's like, oh, we have Corona, or like...
But a lot of people still went to see their families.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, we're still, I think... I don't want to beat this horse anymore.
Are you that beating a horse?
Well, you normally say a dead horse, but I thought it was going to be like...
No, it's not. It's just beat a horse.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What? No, because like when you beat a dead horse, it's already dead. So you don't keep beating a dead horse. Anyway, I didn't even want to say that, but now I said it. I even had to explain it. But I think this topic is about as much as we can say from about it. Can't even talk.
Yes.
Thanks, you guys, for joining us. So we really, really appreciate it. And leave comments, though. We'd still like to... honestly, I really would like to hear more about it, especially what's like in your countries and what's going to happen with traveling. Because I do want to travel again. I want to work. I want to travel and work. You're going to travel and work, too, as soon as you can.
Yeah, hopefully.
And we want to visit friends and family.
We want it to be easier to go visit, like, friends and family. We don't want to have to, like, quarantine for 2 weeks to every different country we go. Because I feel like it also does, like, it means you're out of commission for, like, the time that you're traveling, and then for 2 weeks when you, like, return or, like, arrive somewhere, you have to, like, plan at least another couple weeks when you go places if you have to do a 2-week quarantine.
No, yeah, that's a lot of money, too.
Yeah.
Thanks for your comments, Seymour. Hope you're able to travel as well. Soon.
And eat some American food.
Yeah, but I do hope New Zealand... I mean, everything I saw in the news about New Zealand was like, it was done, basically.
COVID?
Yeah. Like, they didn't have any, like, local transmissions in weeks. Or this was a couple weeks ago when I read this, but I don't know what it's like now. But, again, do you have anything else to say?
Mm-mm. That's it.
I think we should end this, though, because...
Because you have other things to do.
We'll
let
do
you
some
know
live
what it's
streams.
like in America.
We're gonna live stream with my parents because they are a hoot.
I don't give a hoot.
They're gonna argue on camera for days. We're gonna do a one-chip challenge with my dad with spicy stuff.
It's true.
We'll ask my mom's like hardcore. Just imagine whatever you want about her. She's hardcore. That. It's gonna be entertaining. I promise.
Oh, show us how you're packing for Will. Oh my goodness, he requires so much stuff. Our carry-on bag is going to be like food, snacks, change of clothes, diapers, baby wipes.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I honestly, I wrote this down, but I didn't say it. I'm more worried about just traveling with a baby than
Traveling with a baby during
like he's gonna
coronavirus.
poop on the plane. How are we
He's
gonna
gonna
change his
poop on the
diaper
plane.
while he's on the plane? He's gonna cry. People are gonna be annoyed. He's gonna want to be walked around.
We're not going to be able to sleep. He's going to be crawling on the floor, eating things off the floor.
Will we have enough food? Will we have enough milk? Will we have enough juice?
Will he be able to sleep on a plane? Will he be able to sleep not in his crib?
Is it illegal to just give him some Tylenol? Or
Let's give him some CBD oil.
CBD oil? Man.
Well, here's the thing too. We had like initially planned our flight to depart at like nighttime, so we're like maybe it'll like collide with Will's sleep time and like he'll sleep through the whole thing. And then they canceled our flight and rescheduled it for the next morning, and so he's gonna be awake the whole time.
Rachel Chen said my mom is great. Do you know my mom? Do I know you and I forgot?
No, Pam.
My mom is great, which is definitely, she's not afraid to share her opinions, which I think would be great for the internet because people love sharing their opinions online.
No wonder Justin is who he is.
That's right. Let me tell you my theory on that.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
It does not. I'm basically a mirror of my mom and the shadow of my dad. And a little bit of Cohen now. Anyways, thanks again, you guys. I know we already tried to end it once. Oh, nice. Man, I'm sure you got some exciting stories with my mom, or heard some exciting stories from her. We chatted with her a couple days ago, and we're gonna be living with her soon.
For a month. It'll be great.
It's gonna be fun.
Alright, bye. Justin has other stuff to film.
I know, there's so much to do. Thanks you guys for joining us. We're heading out of here. We'll do a live stream with my mom, just for you, Rachel. And we'll talk more soon. Alright guys, bye-bye. Bye.